fire in our soul. Together we'll write a future that's whole. We will save New York. Our hearts ignite in the hands of the people. We stand and fight. We will save New York, the cities and parks. With love and hope, we leave our mark. So raise the banners
All right.
high.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is something new I'm doing right here. You there, Sheriff Mike? Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right. This is something new I'm doing. It's like it's a brand new platform, and I just got to share it out the Save New York private group. But anyways, I'm not quite sure, everybody. I'm not quite sure where Chief VanBrederode is. He was supposed to be on, and I'm not quite sure where he is. But anyways, we're here with Sheriff Carpinelli, New York's favorite sheriff, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the prisons, because you got some, you've been in contact with some people, and you know what's going on. And hey, can you give us a little info on what's going on with the prisons, if you can?
Well, as you know, several of the prisons across the state of New York, the correction officers inside of them, have gotten fed up with the governor and the ridiculous legislation that's taken away their ability to do their jobs in a safe manner and to protect themselves and the people inside the organizations there. So they've gone on a strike because of the injuries that have happened to other officers, because of the overtime hours that they're working, the stress on families, their own personal lives as well. And it's been a disgusting mess that sits on one person's shoulders, and that's Governor Hochul.
Hey, well, first of all, we have to let everybody know right off the bat that you're traveling back from vacation right now, right? You're traveling back from vacation.
Yes, I am, but I'm on my way
So
back.
you're on the road, so your voice is the volume's not really that loud as you're talking, and I know you're having a hard time hearing me also because you're probably in a bad signal area with your phone. But but what do you do, right? What do you do? But anyways, it's been a while since you've been on Save New York, but this is great. Love having you on. And so what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen with the prisons here in New York?
Well, I know that they've called out the National Guard and deployed them, to assist with keeping order inside the facilities. And I know that hasn't made some of the officers happy. I understand that, but the governor thinks this is the right way to go.
But do you think things are going to get worse in the prisons, or do you think things are going to calm down?
And I don't see it getting any better at this moment. I think that if they turned around, and I say they, if Albany turned around and reversed the HALT Act, gave the men and women in the corrections the ability to do their job, that things would would come to order. But as long as they hang on to their ridiculous ideology of the inmates first, and how we care about and I'm sorry if people get offended by this, but we care about their feelings first. It's not going to work. The people inside the facilities have committed acts of violence or some kind of unlawful and broke the law, and they're there to serve a sentence. That's what they're there for. It's not a country club. It's not meant to be a vacation. They're there to pay a debt to society. So while they're there needs to be order kept within the facility and the rules enforced to keep order.
Now some of the I'm not quite sure if anybody, because I didn't really hear too much about it. I'm going to talk a little loud so you can hear me, because I know, like I said, you're on the road and you might be in a bad signal area. But we talked. So Do you think like there's one of the prisons had uh, was kind of almost taken over a little bit, and I guess several of them were like getting kind of iffy if they were going
That's
to get
correct.
taken.
And it's been more than one. That I say not taken over all the way, but certain sections of the facilities were. And when that happens, it puts the men and women who work in facilities, it puts their lives in danger, along with also some of the inmates that may be vulnerable.
Now, do you have a prison up where you are in Lewis County? Do you have a prison up there? You're where you are in Lewis County?
Well, we used to have Dry Hill up by us, and that's one of the facilities that was shut down by the governor. Um, so yes.
But it's shut down, so you don't have one near you. But they just keep shutting down prisons, and then they're allowing like the prisoners to kind of be like almost like do what they want inside the prisons, right? I also heard that there's some of the prisons are allowing drugs to come through. Did you hear anything about that?
Well, I don't know that they're actually allowing drugs to come through. They do the
But do they
best they
slip?
can to prevent that from happening.
But do they slip through? Do they
What's
slip
that?
through sometimes? Do they slip through sometimes?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It even happens in our own county jails. We do the best that we can. But not that they're allowing it, but like I said, it does come through. But here's another thing, though. You talk about the drug problem in the jails. When we have the new legislation with the Medicaid assisted treatment program, why do we need drugs? Snuck in. We're already giving them drugs 7 days a week, and that's paid for by the taxpayers. It's not a rehab program as they want to make people believe, and it's at a great cost to the taxpayers.
So what I mean like what kind of drug does fentanyl get slipped through? Like does that slip through the cracks? Fentanyl slip through the cracks in the prisons? Do you know of?
Oh, sure. Fentanyl does.
It does.
Heroin can. Meth. If they find a way to get it in, they're gonna do it. Hopefully, with the things that we have in place, that the state system has in place, we stop a lot of that. But yeah,
But,
it does come in.
but when you have like the correction officers that are like low staffed, everything else, it's probably got to be kind of hard to make sure that stuff doesn't go through, right? When they're short staffed and everything, wouldn't you think that would make it hard for them to really track it down to make sure that it doesn't get through?
Oh, well, absolutely, Charles. It's here's the thing of it. Again, with them being short-staffed, like you said, worked all kinds of overtime. In other words, one officer goes in and may work 36 hours or more. Now, what do you think the mental state of mind, the alertness of that officer, or for anybody that worked 36 hours straight, um, it's not going to be good. And to try to put blame or hold them accountable is completely asinine and wrong upon the state's part.
So Kathy Hochul came through and said something that she was trying to wing a deal with paying them more. I don't know if you heard about that, but she was talking about paying them more money and then to try to get them back in. Did you hear anything about that? Trying to wing a deal with the people on strike.
Well, say that again, Charles. They're trying to get what back in?
Kathy Hochul was trying to wing a deal with the officers to get them to go back in to the prisons by saying that, listen, we won't press charges, we'll offer you more money, and this and that. Did you hear anything about that?
I did. Uh, that's typical. Let's throw some up against the wall and see if it sticks from Albany, or see if they'll swallow it. When you're sending, I don't want to say nicely, a crap on a plate. Nobody wants to eat that. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. The bottom line is this: get rid of that HALT Act. Let's bring, uh, you know, order back. Let's give the officers their ability to do their job, and I think things would start to smooth over. But here's what gets me: when you look up people out, the citizens, you should look up who started this HALT Act and where it came from. It came from a person who was incarcerated to begin with for murder and manslaughter. Now, Why is Albany taking advice from an individual that committed a murder and manslaughter because they were it was
You're cutting out. You're cutting out a lot.
that's a
You're cutting
that's
out a lot,
pretty
Sheriff.
sorry.
You're cutting out. You're cutting out a lot.
Can you hear me now?
Listen, yeah, but you're cutting out a lot. So
Probably
you
going
couldn't
through a
really
bad
make out.
area.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. If you're going through Pennsylvania,
How
I know if
about
you're
now?
going through Pennsylvania, I know if you're going through Pennsylvania, that's got a lot of mountains and everything else. That's probably bad. But I don't know where you're at right now. But let
Yeah.
everybody know again that
No.
you're coming back. You're driving back from vacation, so you're on the road. But go ahead. Can you repeat what you said? Because you were breaking up pretty bad. It sounds all right now. Go ahead.
Yes, certainly. Can you hear me pretty good now, Charles?
Yes, it does break up a little bit, but
Am I
I
coming
can
through
make
good?
out what. But I can make you're breaking up a little bit, but I can make out what you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And the citizens of New York should question where this legislation came from for the HALT Act and who had started it. It was a gentleman who was incarcerated for murder and for manslaughter. Now, why again are our politicians taking advice from an individual who killed somebody and going to base a law that, well, they spent too much time in solitary confinement, or they were punished for some of the not following the rules of the prison system? That this is completely, like, again, I'll say the word, it's asinine. It has nothing to do um, with caring about the inmate or the the person studying solitary confinement. It's about having less order, creating disorder, and making the job even harder for the corrections personnel until there's a situation where they say, well, if they can't do it, who's going to do it? Let's just let the prisoners govern themselves inside a facility. And this is stupid. This is what third world nations do. And look what's happened with that. We have the Trendiaga gang that ran a prison from within inside. And when their government got tired of it and decided that they couldn't handle it anymore, they cut them loose and sent them over the border into our country to wreak havoc. You think that Albany would learn, but we know better.
So, dude, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you. I hear a lot of stuff going on all over the place. Do the prisoners have access to like iPads or anything like that? Do they have access to that stuff in the prisons? Do you know of?
Absolutely. That
They
was another
do,
law
huh?
that was passed that we had to provide them, with these electronic devices, the iPads, so they could um, express themselves, talk with their family if they needed to, learn certain things. Uh, you know, I can think of a lot better ways to spend our taxpayers' money than on that.
I mean, do they have access to like news? Can they watch the news? Can they watch TV on the iPads also? Can they watch? Can they do that or not?
We don't allow that in our facility. What they do in other ones, I don't know. It's possible, but I can tell you that it's not good. It's not good. Like once again, what are we doing? We're giving a candy store right away to the kids, letting them run free in it.
Do you think? All right, now here's another one because, like I said, all this stuff goes through my head all the time. But do you think that this is being done intentionally? Everything's being done intentionally just for votes?
Oh, absolutely, it's being done intentionally, and not just for votes. It's to tear down and tear apart the system or the form of government that we govern ourselves by, the voices that we have, to have a legitimate election and keep people confident of the system that we have. We've seen what the other side has done on a national level, and we finally kicked her behind this last election to show them that doesn't work. Uh,
Yeah, you're getting bad. I can see your signal. You have like if you look down, if I look down at your
hopefully soon we will if we get a new governor.
when I look down, I can see your signal strength on your thing on your video, and you have like really low signal strength going on. But anyways, okay, so
Oh,
okay, so you have like really low signal strength going on, but so you definitely going through a bad area. So let me ask you. Let's get off that topic. So do you think that how? All right, let me one more question. How long do you think this will go on? Well, he's got no signal. We just lost him a little bit. Just give it a few minutes. He's going through. He's driving. I don't know if he's probably not driving. His wife's probably driving, but they're driving up and from they're driving up from Florida. They're driving up from the Free State. So let's see if he comes back on. Oh, he says he's offline. Oh, hopefully he comes back on. I don't know if people can hear him all right. I can hear him. It's hard to make out what he's saying sometimes. But let's see. Hopefully he pops back on. There's a couple other questions I wanted to ask him. And yeah, Joanne, I see your comments, Joanne. I see. Let's see if he tries to pop back on. But he was driving through a really bad spot with the internet. They have like the little bars I can see the signals. I got like full signal because I'm at home and I got the rip off Spectrum thing going on, and it's hooked right into the router. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You might be muted. Are you muted? Oh,
Do I still have it, Charles?
hey, guess what, Sheriff Carpinelli? You have full signal working right.
There it is.
You got full signal working
We're
right
back.
now, which is great. Okay, you're back, and it sounds good. All right, you got full signal or better signal, anyways. So, what was that? What were you saying before you got cut off?
You
Uh
asked me in
oh.
regards to, we think they're doing this on purpose, correct?
Well, oh no, I forgot. Yeah, we were talking about if they're doing it on purpose for votes or something like that. Because I think they're doing it me personally. I think they're doing it on purpose for votes, but I don't think they're going to get the votes because I think they're just going to say screw you anyways. And that's probably here's my other opinion that they created to where felons can now vote, right? In New York, felons can vote in New York, and they did that for a reason also, right? They have felons be able to
Oh
vote in New
yeah,
York.
absolutely they did. I mean, yeah, they're what do you think they're going to vote? By giving them this. What again, Charles? It's just a way to erode the confidence of the citizens that have shown themselves, worked hard, believe in the Constitution, believe in the way that we do elections. Then they turn around again and they allow people who have committed crimes that are there to pay debt to society to all of a sudden vote instead of you know uh, have their punishment by not being allowed to vote in the election while they are incarcerated.
Okay, so the question was before you got cut off was do you think this is going to last long, or do you think something will get figured out? Do you think it'll last very long?
Do I think that what's going on is going to last very long? You said right now with the strikes and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I really don't know. But if they pull up the National Guard, that's a serious thing when they do that. They're anticipating. I think a long term situation. That's why. But as I said before, the governor can stop this within 24 hours.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I guess because some people, I guess, like I said, I hear rumors. I hear rumors and stuff, and I don't know what's true or not. Excuse me, but I heard things could get worked up pretty good this weekend as far as getting bad in the prisons this weekend. But I'm not sure. And like I said, rumors. I don't know.
Well, it's not rumors. Now it has hit the mainstream media. Uh, I want to say the more reliable media outlet, and start to report on it. But there's still so much that the public hasn't heard about, and I know that it's being spoken on some Facebook posts by some of the uh, officers' wives and family members that know firsthand of what's going on. So we'll see. I pray for the safety of those officers. I pray for the mental health of those officers. What gets me in a state that wants to push all kinds of mental health care for everybody else, except for the ones who are truly suffering behind the scenes. They create these organizations to help. I don't know who, but they sure aren't helping their own people.
Okay, so what do you have anything you can say to people like what people can do to help these officers? Do you have any suggestions that people like ordinary citizens can do to help the officers that are on strike?
Certainly, I say reach out to your local, your local state senators. Uh, Call them, write them, do whatever you can to support. You know these officers. Mr. Langworthy was out at one facility. Took a look. I listened to the officers, but I'll say this: as long as Albany controls the powers they do on the Democratic Party side, it's very frustrating for the Republican conservatives to get anything done. Because once again, what do the Democrats do? They act like a bunch of children. Uh, they don't want to talk to anybody. They want to close the door. They don't want to be heard. They don't want their side to be told that they're wrong. That they're doing horrible legislation, making bad decisions that are no common sense whatsoever. But don't give up. I say the people need to go ahead and contact their local state senators and support these correction officers.
Do you think it'd be a good idea to also go out there and join the people on the strikes? Do you think it'd be a good idea if people went out there and joined them or not?
Oh, I think that's up to each individual. I think any support that the correction officers get would be helpful. I know that there's talk amongst at the county level of officers going and supporting when they're off duty. The members that are out there to hear their voices be heard and supported. But yeah, anything that the citizens can help out would be great. Because remember this: if the people that are inside there, we get control of one of those prisons, we've seen what in the past what Attica turned into. Um, for those that are much younger and don't remember it, ask your parents. It was not a good thing. Um, and now we're putting National Guard troops into these prisons. Uh, Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's some awful people in there. That's why they're there. And if any of these people get hurt, and I mean the National Guard members, that's going to be right on the governor's head.
Because I heard that the National Guard is not really equipped or prepared to deal with prisons. That they're not really equipped and prepared to deal with prisons and be able to work with the prisoners or do anything. I heard.
Well, Charles, 100% correct. Correction officers have to go to an academy. You know, since when have any of these National Guard members been to a corrections academy? It takes a good year. And then it takes some experience. Then it takes some
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
training. You're right.
All right, you're breaking up. Okay, so let's go. We're going on about 24 minutes. I have a couple more questions for you, though. All right, a couple good ones for you.
All right.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think or feel of what's going on with the new ICE agent guy there, the new head of ICE, and what's going on in New York? Do you have any thoughts on that? You broke up.
Say that one more time. What do I think what's going on in New York with what?
The new ICE czar, the border czar, and what's going on in New York? Do you have any thoughts or anything
yes,
about that or what?
Yeah, I should. I think it's fantastic. It's about time. Thank God for the border czar and the men and women that he commands. Thank God that they've got somebody that backs them 100%. And I'm glad that they're out there in the streets, taking these bad guys out of the streets that can cause Listen, I get tired of hearing all the time from different groups of people that say, well, the right to be here, or they're not doing. They have no right to be here. If you are not a member, if you are not a constitutional sworn, gone through the classes of taking citizenship, then you're not a citizen here, and you're not contributing, uh, you know, to what we do in the United States. So, unless not, and also on that, I'm not even going to go down that road and try to talk about that with people who disagree. We know it's not even about that. All they want to do is get these people into this country, create havoc,
All right.
and again erode what our foundational principles are that we live here in the United States. And thank God we got a president now at the helm that has the wherewithal. He has the courage, the honor, the leadership to make the right calls on this. So,
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of people are saying the signal's a little rough. It is a little tough to hear you if you have to really pay attention to what you're saying. But let me ask you this: so, did the Ron, Sheriff Carpinelli's on the road. He's coming back from vacation. He's on the road, so he is going through some bad signal areas. But Sheriff Carpinelli, did the border czar? I'm curious about this because I think this is what happened. Did the border czar contact all the sheriffs in all the counties in Monroe County, or not Monroe County, but all the counties in New York?
not the borders are.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Yeah, with you as best I can. Um,
You're breaking
I've
up.
had the
Right.
ICE come to my office. We sat and met with them. They asked for our support, and I told them absolutely we'll support them. They're out there fighting the bad guys, and at the same time that we would ask for them to back our men and women out there if something was going wrong, or we had some bad criminals we needed help in handling.
All right, because our local sheriff here in Monroe County put out a statement, and so when you see, if you know that there's like bad illegal aliens that are wanted, that have committed like felonies or crimes or serious crimes, do you go out there and look for them, or do you just let ICE know about it?
Well, obviously they've committed a crime in our county against the people, um, or they're
Oh, I wish you got better
and we have
signal.
the ability to make an arrest. Nuts.
Go ahead.
How about now, Charles?
It's a little better. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. As I said, obviously, if our people come across them, our deputies, myself in this county, and they're causing harm to our citizens, or doing damage, or they're a great threat to our safety and security, yeah, absolutely, we're going to do our job and make an arrest. I know there's other sheriffs, and I'm not gonna try to. This what gets me again. We have an association. The sheriffs are all elected by the people of their counties, and Albany is always trying to get us pit us against each other, and it's unfortunate. Um, we're going to do the job that the people asked of us. It's up to each individual sheriff and his conscience to decide that, do I want to have members of any gang from a foreign country going to my children's place of activities, to my mall, to my grocery store, uh, to our apartment complexes, threatening our citizens or threatening to bring harm. This is BS. When you hear say, well, we really can't hold these people or arrest them. Well, then why are we police officers? Why is there laws? Why do
Yeah.
people have confidence then in us? Uh, you know,
So you would arrest them, and then you would contact ICE and say, "Listen, we got somebody here," and they would come in and take them. Is what you're saying?
well, here's my Charles. Why wouldn't we not?
Okay. Okay. All
You
right.
know, why
Yeah, I
wouldn't
just
we?
wanted. I just want to make sure because there's some sheriffs that just won't, and I know that. It's like,
I know
yeah,
it.
there's some,
I know it,
yeah.
and I'll tell you, it drives me crazy. And I get that they want to be careful because of Albany. I know they want to be careful because of the Attorney General. But you know what? I would rather stop an act from occurring and take the heat for that, a bad situation, than to let something happen and then stand there and try to point fingers or say, well, the Attorney General told me I couldn't do that, or the governor said I couldn't do that. Read your Constitution. And then again, I'll say this, and they want to use the words again, other parties and people. What would God do? You know, what would Jesus want you to do? First of all, number one thing he wants you to do is to protect life. Protect life.
All right, so okay, another question. Couple more real quick ones. Actually, yeah, a real quick one. What do you think of what's going on with the mayor of New York City there? What are your thoughts on
Well,
that?
you know, I don't know. Uh, I think it's very interesting. I like a lot of things that I see going on. Uh, it's a fast changing um, world out there today, and each person that makes a deal or a decision, you have to go up to it and do the right thing when they're given a second chance.
All right, so yeah, I have like mixed feelings about what's going on there in New York City. I mean, but the thing is, it's really wild because a lot of stuff that happens in New York City affects us, upstate. You know, affects us. But okay, here one more thing. Who do you
Yeah,
think?
that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Who do you think governor 2026? Or have you ever thought about even jumping back in again?
Oh boy, you know what I love to. Of course, I would love to. The people were great out there the first time around. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Um, it's an unfortunate thing that it does take money um, to do it. A lot of money. We did our. I thought we did the best we can. I have a hard time asking, the donation stuff. I did, but I'll say this: until the Republican Party comes clean with the people that they represent and starts listening to the people in the state of New York, we're not going to win. They cozy up sometimes to the other side. They make backroom deals. I've been in it. I know it. And as long as New York City, unfortunately, infects, and I don't mean to disparage the people that live down there, but boy, you guys make some dumb decisions on who governs you, and you're given some great people to help you, and they make the stupidest decisions in the world for the candidates that they elect.
All right, I'd like to have you. I'd like to have you run again, but we'll see what happens, right? 'Cause I don't know. I don't know who's out there that they can do it. Hey, here, let me ask you. Let me ask you this too. Now, I was listening. I listen to Glenn Beck sometimes on the radio, WYSL. I listen to Glenn Beck, and he was talking about how they're finding all this crooked stuff going on, and it's actually AI that's finding it. That the geniuses that Trump talks about are actually working with the AI. Okay, they're working with the artificial intelligence, and that's the stuff that's digging in and finding all the stuff. And Glenn Beck was talking about because somebody called in from North Carolina or South Carolina saying, "Hey, how can we get Doge in our state?" So I guess we could actually get that in New York State if we can find some intelligent people, smarter than me, anyways, that can go through an AI and find the corruption and stuff in New York State and where the money's going and everything. What do you think about that?
No, you're right. Here's what it is: when other people are still reaching into their pockets and taking care of others, and they're selling their souls out, to enrich themselves or to grab the power in certain positions, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Um, the people that are in charge need to have a conscience, they need to have a heart, they need to have a soul, and many of them don't. And that's too bad for us. It's bad for us. That's why it's important when they go ahead and say that they vet a candidate. But at the same time too, when you have your your county chair people that are the ones that are making the decision for everybody else, if you got a bad county chair, you're not going to get a good candidate. Your voice isn't going to be heard. And I'll tell you, I learned that during the governor's race, and I also learned that there were several that weren't strong enough to stand up against Albany.
All right. I know it's crazy, but there was one more question I wanted to ask, but I forgot about it. I forgot what it was. I lost it. Anything else? I guess we've been going about 35 minutes now. Anything else you'd like to say to anybody out there about any of the stuff we talked about in closing?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say to every New York State correctional officer that's out there right now on the job or on the line, hang in there, gentlemen. You got a lot of support, a lot more, and ladies than you're maybe being told. We are proud of the people we have in those facilities. Thank God that they're in there to hold the individuals that belong there. Time. And I just want to say to the rest of the citizens of New York State, you do have a governor's race coming up. New York City, once again, don't make a stupid decision on a stupid candidate. And that's the governance that you get. The rest of us pay for it in the rest of the state of New York, and that's why at times we're so upset with downstate New York, even though they come all the way outside of their area to live, to rent property, eat in our restaurant, and vacation. But think about what you're doing to everybody else.
Hey, you know something? I do want to bring something else up. One more quick thing, and that is Fort Knox. Where's the gold? Do you think the gold? Do you think the gold's in there? Do you think it's in there? Because I don't. I don't think it's in there. Do you think it's in there?
Well, I know one guy that knows where it is. Mr. Elon Musk. He knows where the gold is.
Do you think he knows? I don't know if they already checked or not. I wasn't paying attention because I got home late from work. But did they already go and check it or not? Because they were supposed to do it. He wanted to do a live. That's been a big question forever. Is the gold in Fort Knox or is it gone?
Right.
For years, ever since I was little, I remember hearing that stuff.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I can tell you that I know way back in the late 60s, my father at the time was in the Army, and he was at Fort Knox and following command of some things there. I remember him telling me stories about the gold that was seen there. But whether it's there now, who knows?
I don't think it is, but we'll find out. I guess we'll find out soon enough, right? We're going to find out a lot. We're going to find out a lot within the next couple months, too. A lot of other things that are going on, which I think is great. It can't come fast enough. But, another thing is some people, I see a lot of people that I know that are like, hey, how come they're not doing this? How come they're not doing this? It's like, you have to think, how much can you actually do? You know what I'm saying? They're doing all this stuff. And then I see people get frustrated. I can see people get frustrated that they're not doing what they want them to do. It's like, just calm down. Give it some time. They can't do everything. It's like, it's what you notice that too, that some people get frustrated because they're not doing what they want them to do. It's crazy.
Fast enough. Right. Now, we have to have patience. It's not all
Yes.
our time.
Patience, exactly. All right, Sheriff Carpinelli, I think we're pretty much done. And let's do this again when we get better signal. Seriously.
That'd be great. And I
Let's
just
do this.
want everybody to know, I am not driving right now.
I
am not driving.
I didn't think you were, but if you're driving, you probably have like eyes on the side of your head too. But no, I wasn't thinking you were driving. I don't think anybody. I mentioned that earlier that I didn't think you were driving, so I think we're good with that. Anyways, Sheriff Carpinelli, thanks for coming on here, and let's do it again soon. Seriously, let's do it again soon when you get better signal. But you can't have not at your house because when you have a storm at your house, you get bad signal too, right? When you get the storms up where you are, you get the storms, you get bad signal.
Do it. All right.
Let's do it. Let me know when you want to come back on. We'll get better signal. All right, Sheriff Carpinelli. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thank you, Charles. If you can see Mr. VanBrederode, tell him I said hello, okay?
What's that? What was it?
What was that? Tell him I said hello.
I will. I don't know why he didn't show up.
If you
I don't know
see
what happened.
Jim,
I
that's
will tell him.
fine.
I'll tell him. I don't know why he didn't show up. I don't know what happened. I'll have to talk to him. All right, Sheriff Carpinelli and everybody else. We'll see you all next time. Have a great night.